It is my pleasure now to invite Dr. Matthew James Vogel to present today's commencement address. So Dr. Vogel, please join us.
Whoa. Good morning, and congratulations, graduates. I want to just begin by acknowledging all of the friends and all of the family that you have here with you today, sharing this very special day with you. I've got my own family and some very special friends here today as well. And I'm so grateful. I'm going to try not to cry. So grateful and happy that we can all be together this morning. I graduated from Webster way back in 1993 with a BFA in theater, and during my tenure at this theater, I saw shows and I worked as an usher in the work-study program right here, and I also had the good fortune of acting with my friends and classmates on this very stage in shows like Three Sisters, As You Like It, and Cabaret. And since then, I have noticed a few things. The campus has transformed. It has gotten a lot bigger. It has gotten a lot fancier. When I was here, we actually held acting classes around the corner on Garden Avenue in a renovated strip mall, if you can believe it. It's true. I mean, can you believe that? Yes, Bruce. We're still there. I mean, can you believe that the students of the Sargent Conservatory of Theater Arts still get to hone their craft between an out-of-business Lucky Nails and a Subway sandwich shop? It's not bad, right? It is where great art and 6-inch tuna subs are made. Yeah, okay. If you came in late and you didn't see the beautiful video put together by Karen Birch, Marianne Pierce, and the team here at Webster that I just saw, and it was beautiful. I have the distinct privilege of being what is called a Muppet performer. And by that means that I get to play some of the world's most beloved and recognizable characters. From 6-year-old Big Bird on Sesame Street, to the most famous banjo-playing frog in the world, Kermit the Frog. Thank you. Oh, there's more. From a vampire with an unquenchable thirst for numbers, to over a dozen other Muppet characters with unusual names like Forgetful Jones, Crazy Harry, and Dr. Julius Strangepork. Yeah, I know. Now, to be clear, with a few exceptions, I did not originate any of the characters that I play, but I am the current steward of those characters, and that means that it is my job to maintain the integrity and give these Muppets their soul, because I'm the only performer in the world of those characters until one day, very far in the future, when I am a really old man, I decide to pass that honor along to another much younger Muppet performer. And you know, when people find out that I work for the Muppets, they usually say something like, "Oh my gosh, you work for the Muppets, you have an awesome job." And I say, "I know I do have an awesome job, it's an awesome job." And then they have questions, a lot of questions, like, is it hard to keep your arm up in the air? Yes, it is hard to keep your arm up in the air. Is Big Bird heavy? Yes, it is heavy. It's 4,000 feathers. That doesn't sound heavy, but trust me, it's heavy. Is it hot inside Big Bird? Okay, well, just, wrap yourself up in a bunch of comforters and try to do some light cardio and, you're gonna get a little steamy. Who does the voice? Me. I do the voice. All Muppet performers do the voices of the characters they play. So, when you hear Big Bird, that's me.
Gee, I heard you're graduating. I guess that means you know all of your letters and numbers. Good job.
So, thanks. Or when you hear Kermit the Frog, that is me also. Hi-ho, Kermit the Frog here, and I just want to say, congratulations, graduates of Webster University class of 2023! Yay! Thank you. It's a cheap party trick, but it works every time. So, how did I find myself in this weird, wonderfully unique niche job that I am talking to you all about this morning? When I was a kid, I was a huge fan of the Muppets. It didn't matter whether it was Kermit the Frog, Fozzie Bear, Gonzo, Miss Piggy on the Muppet Show, or Big Bird, Bert and Ernie, Oscar the Grouch, and Grover on Sesame Street. I couldn't get enough, you know? And it got to the point that when I was watching the Muppets, I started to wonder what was happening, you know, below the frame there, under the puppets, and who were these people that were performing these characters, and how did they learn to do what they were doing? And I was so inspired by these characters and by their creator, Jim Henson, that as a fourth grader, I built my own puppets out of t-shirts and masking tape, and I had no idea what I was doing or how to do it, but nobody showed me, I just had to do it. So it's what I did. And I built these terrible puppets, which, to be fair, were probably pretty good for a 10-year-old. And but I built these terrible puppets, and I entertained the kids in our neighborhood and at my school until the ninth grade talent show that my wonderful wife Kelly mentioned in the video. Now, it wasn't like everybody was booing Kelly. Not everybody. It wasn't like a universal boo. But that's what I heard, though. And that's how it felt, you know? And that's how it works, right? Anything negative it pierces right through the positive. And so this thing that I loved doing, it wasn't cool or respected or appreciated or whatever. And for me, I decided not to do puppets anymore. I put them away, and I packed them away out of fear or embarrassment or both. It didn't matter at the time because that was it. I mean, that could have been it. But thankfully, my parents enrolled me at acting classes at a children's theater. And there I met people that I connected with and that were interested in creativity and acting like I was. And there were acting teachers there and in high school too that encouraged me to explore my imagination. And that children's theater and the friends that I met there led me to auditioning and being accepted here at Webster University at the conservatory. And when I got here, it was a place where my creativity was set free. It was where I learned, and where we all learned, how to work together in a group, whether as actors in a show or on a stage crew. And in acting classes, we learned how to collaborate with scene partners. In movement class, we learned discipline and how to carry our own bodies. And in Ballet 1, we learned how to endure wearing a dance belt for more than 80 minutes. For the uninitiated, a dance belt is a theater major's version of a jockstrap. So, anyway, Webster also surrounded me with like-minded creatives, including my roommate, Chad Harris, class of '93. Chad, are you here? Just give it like a whoop or something if you're here. Yeah, well, I thought he was going to be here. That's okay. Anyway, in our spare time, Chad and I wrote scripts, and we shot goofy movies with names like Tubehead and Phobomb, The Man in His Dream, and it starred all of our friends in the conservatory program. And Chad asked me one summer if I wanted to help him with a puppet show called the Gilda and Guppy Water Safety Show, and we would go around to all the daycares in St. Louis, and so I did. And before I knew it, I had reconnected with my love of puppetry. So much so that as a senior, I decided that I was going to shoot a puppetry audition video and send it off to the Jim Henson Company in New York City. And a couple of months later, guess what? I got a very nice rejection letter. Yeah, so it was kind of like the talent show all over again, except this time from the company of the man that I had admired my whole life, which is kind of a tough pill, if you can imagine. And I graduated, like I'm sure some of you theater majors, with the thought of making some money and moving to New York to become a working actor on Broadway and movies and on television. all like that kind of stuff. And Kelly and I were on our way to New York when she saw that ad with the picture of Kermit the Frog looking for puppeteers. And despite the rejection letter the year before, I answered the ad. And now here I am 27 years later, the guy that plays the frog that's in that ad. That is bananas, right? But you know, I wasn't going to let the rejection stop me from trying again and dreaming big things. Okay, I am the first to admit that I am so lucky. My career aligns with that thing that I love doing so much as a kid, and that could happen to any one of you. And it will. It really will for some of you. But all of you should keep your eyes, your minds, and your hearts open. Some things you are going to be able to control, and other things you are not going to be able to control. But if you keep true to yourself, and you are malleable to opportunity and the expectation that anything can happen, then those questions, that you have now, that feeling of uncertainty, it might not carry as much weight. Or maybe it will. But that's cool too. You just have to keep showing up. Keep showing up for yourself. Especially once you have packed up your car and you are headed for whatever it is that is the next step for you. Kermit the Frog said this in his book, Before You Leap. Yes, Kermit the Frog wrote a book. He said this, as long as we remain true to our best selves, we can't go wrong. It doesn't matter if you're a frog, or a pig, or a bear, or even a person. It doesn't matter if you're a big fish in a little pond, or a small fish in a big pond. You're you, and you matter. And before you know it, you're right where you belong. Look, I know that you all have questions about what comes next or what tomorrow has in store for you. But right now, I think it is important for all of you, for all of us, just to take a moment to appreciate this right here, right now, okay? I mean, to make it to this day, you had to overcome personal obstacles and global obstacles. Like, hey, remember we had a pandemic. You forced you to adapt and learn how to endure, to continue learning. And that is insane, but you all did it. So let's acknowledge that you are here. That's right. Yes. So let's acknowledge that you are all sitting here at this very special time because you've already accomplished big things. And there are big things yet to come. But right now, take a moment. You've earned it. Just take a breath and let it all in. Don't forget to let it all out either. So for me, when I come to the present and I reflect and what comes to mind is that I am appreciative of the time that I spent here at Webster, the hard work, the fun, and even this moment right now. I'm grateful for all of those who have walked along the path with me. My parents, my brother Jason, my wife Kelly, our kids, Jack, Hunter, Lila, Keaton, and Flynn, and my fellow classmates, of course. I acknowledge the obstacles that I overcame, the talent show boos and the rejection letters and the self-doubt that came along with both of those. And I celebrate the lessons that I learned from my peers, my teachers, my friends. It's no surprise to me that to this very day, I still use the skills that I learned here at Webster in my job with the Muppets. And in my almost 30 years of working with the Muppets, I have learned some things from the characters that I carry with me every day as well. I'm going to tell you some of those things. So Big Bird taught me to have the wide-eyed openness and optimism of a child, to be curious and welcome everybody as a friend. That it's not as simple as it sounds. I mean, but it should be, right? It's so easy to let ourselves become jaded by the world, by our jobs, our relationships. But Big Bird never is. He's always looking for the best in people and situations. even when it's tough. The Count. Well, we all know that the Count loves numbers. Counting is his jam. And to obsess about something that you love so much that it becomes the thing that you have to do more than anything else in the world, well, that kind of drive can get you far if you use it in the right way. That is one wonderful piece of advice. No lightning? Yeah. And of course, Kermit the Frog. What did I learn from him? Well, there is a quote from Jerry Jewell, who was the head writer of The Muppet Show. And he said this: Kermit is the eye in the middle of the hurricane. And, you know, he's always in control. Sometimes just barely, but he's always in control. And the interesting thing about it is, of course, he created the hurricane. Kermit's pretty unflappable. I mean, sure, from time to time he loses it, but he has the ability not to let the craziness overwhelm him. And this is super hard for me, but I try to keep it in mind by asking myself, what would Kermit do? But there was another thing that I learned from the frog, and that is patience. When penguins are flying through the air and Miss Piggy is demanding a solo, it takes patience not to let the world come tumbling down on you. And speaking of patience, for me, Kermit is like the pinnacle of the Muppet universe, you know? And I was a Muppet performer for 20 years before I became Kermit the Frog. 20 years. Now, I love all of the characters that I get to play, I truly do. But when I became Kermit, it was another level somehow. All those years of collaboration and discipline and learning and hard work and showing up for myself had paid off. And I never had to wear a dance belt, not once. So, patience. Before I go, I just want to leave you with something that my favorite frog sings at the end of the Muppet movie, surrounded by his friends and his family. He says, "Life's like a movie, write your own ending. Keep believing, keep pretending, we've done just what we set out to do. Thanks to the lovers, the dreamers, and you." I want all of you to write your own ending and your own beginnings, too. So keep believing, keep pretending. Congratulations to all the lovers and dreamers and this remarkable class of 2023. Thank you so much.